Hey guys, just for the video starts, I want to let you all know that my G Fuel code NUT, is 30% off on the website right now. As you guys know, we donate all proceeds made with my code to St. Jude, so if G Fuel interests you and you'd like to support a good cause, make sure to check out the first link in the description and that'll automatically apply my code. Normally, I drink this stuff whenever I'm streaming or working out, making videos or anything like that. I'm a pretty big fan of energy drinks, just not carbonated stuff, even though they have their own cans. And if you don't like caffeine, they also have caffeine-free stuff with electrolytes in it. A little bit of something for everybody. But I like working with the homies at G Fuel. We get to do charity stuff from time to time, and I try to keep them the only sponsor on the channel to keep my videos pretty quick and to the point. But if G Fuel interests you, check out the link. And if they don't, then that's 100% fine. But without further ado, enjoy the video. Ladies and gentlemen, Xur just became exciting again. Quick editor's note, I just realized what the Fireteam chat is saying in the background gameplay. Just do your best to ignore that. Thank you. I'm not gonna lie, I could have made this video last week, but I decided not to because I didn't know if this was a bug or not, as I couldn't recall Bungie ever mentioning it before it happened, but Xur just got a massive rework. If you guys visited old Penis Face last weekend, you'd know that he was selling legendary armor, but more importantly, randomly rolled legendary weapons. But these just aren't any legendary weapons, as you won't be seeing these sold by Banshee whatsoever. We got Iron Banner weapons, old Trials weapons, and even super rare playlist drops like the Royal Entry. Basically, with Season of the Lost, Xur is now selling either hard to obtain or previously unobtainable items each and every weekend. So today, we're going to be taking a look at Xur's entire legendary loot pool, which a loot pool is just what he can pick and choose from to sell every weekend, and discussing not only what weapons you need to keep an eye out for, but the god rolls associated with those weapons, so you know if Xur is selling something good or not when he comes by. Now, Xur has around 90 total weapons that he can pick from to sell every weekend, so I'm not going to be going over every single weapon, just some standout picks and some perks that you might want to keep an eye out for. And do keep in mind, if a weapon isn't a 5 out of 5 god roll, that doesn't mean not to pick it up. I'm just going to be listing the god rolls in today's video so you guys know basically what to look out for whenever these weapons appear. Also, if you guys want to see his entire loot pool and not just the stuff I mentioned in today's video, I'll leave a link down below in the description so you can take a look at yourself. Now, before jumping into it, if you like the content today, make sure you hit that like button, and if you love the content today, hit that subscribe button to see more from me. And without further ado, let's jump into it. Now, to start the video off, let's go ahead and talk about some of the heavy weapons that Xur can sell on any given weekend. And the first one I want to discuss is the Royal Entry rocket launcher. Now, for those that don't know, this is one of the best rockets in the game, hands down, and normally comes from the Vanguard Strike playlist as a random drop, but with that drop being so excruciatingly small, definitely keep your eyes peeled to Xur each weekend for this thing to go on sale. It's the only rocket in the game that has built-in tracking for its rockets because of it being a precision frame that also is able to roll with lasting impression. In my opinion, this is the best rocket in the game, although some might disagree with me by citing Hezen. I just can't aim for shit, so pick your poison. Be on the lookout for a auto-loading lasting impression roll or impulse amplifier lasting impression. Both are god rolls and both are extremely effective. Now, next up, we have my favorite machine gun in the game, the Seraph Saw. Completely disregarding Warmind cells, this is another one of my favorite heavy weapons in the game, and with the machine gun buff this season, it's even better than before. It's a high impact frame arc machine gun that can roll with auto-loading or field prep in the first column, and Vorpal, firing line, or disruption in the second. Vorpal giving 15% to bosses and champs, firing line giving 20% damage by being next to allies, and disruption break giving 50% damage to all kinetic weapons after breaking a barrier or shield. I like this thing miles more than the Swarm due to its overall feel and perks, while Warmind cells are just the cherry on top of the cake. Xur sold this last week with some pretty bad rolls, but stay looking for a good one of these in upcoming weekends. Lastly, for the heavy weapons of the video, we have both Falling Guillotine as well as Temptation's Hook. Now, we all know why Falling Guillotine is here. It's the best legendary sword in the game. Just keep an eye out for Jagged or Honed Edge, Swordmaster's Guard, Relentless Strikes, and Whirlwind Blade. But why is Temptation's Hook here, you ask? Well, Bungie recently discussed how they like to buff caster frame swords, and seeing as this is one of the few casters in the game, I figured it wouldn't hurt to mention this weapon in today's video. Pretty much rock the same perks on this weapon as you would Guillotine, machine, but you do have more options in the final slot like Surrounded and Vorpal to give this weapon some more flexibility. Moving on from heavy weapons, let's discuss some energy weapons, starting off with the old Trials of Osiris auto rifle, the Summoner. Now, the Summoner is no longer obtainable at the time of making this video, and the fact that Xur is selling it is an absolute godsend for PvE players everywhere, as it's always been one of the most fun autos to run in PvE thanks to his perk setup. Taking a look at the perks, be on the lookout for either Overflow Rampage or Overflow Dragonfly, and you have yourself an insanely good and fun auto rifle to run inside of PvE content. It's solar as well, just in case you might be playing any match game activities. While on the topic of weapons previously earnable in PvP, let's quickly talk about the Frozen Orbit Sniper Rifle, as I cannot for the life of me get this thing to drop with good perks since this perk pool is so damn massive. It's an aggressive frame sniper, and the reason I want it so bad is for its Trophy Hunter role with triple tap and Vorpal for PvE. For those that don't know, Trophy Hunter was a really good sniper back during Season of the Dawn, and Frozen Orbit is pretty much just a carbon copy of that weapon. Of course, for PvP, we have no distractions and snapshot sights, so if you haven't gotten a god roll of this weapon from either no interest in PvP or just bad luck, stay tuned to Xur every weekend, and who knows, you might drop a bombshell. Next up, we have two meta tier picks as far as shotguns go for both PvE and PvP, the First In Last Out and the Seraph CQC. First In, of course, is a slug shotgun, and it can roll with auto-loading Vorpal, making it an absolute boss melting machine. And the Seraph CQC is a great lightweight option for PvP, it just doesn't drop often. Be on the lookout for Full Choke, Accurized Quick Draw, or Slide Shot paired with Vorpal or Snapshot, and you're looking at a really good shotgun option for Crucible. Both of these weapons are absolute meta picks, so pick your poison depending on what game mode you play the most. Moving on, we have both the Seraph and Ikelos SMGs, and I'm sure these need no introduction, so I'll just keep it to the point. Warmind cells or not, these are great SMGs, so be on the lookout for 4th Times Ambitious paired with Vorpal or Frenzy on the Seraph, and Threat Detector Subsistence paired with Vorpal or Demolitionist on the Ikelos SMG. Good SMGs, keep your eyes peeled. Moving on, we have a weapon and perk roll that has eluded me since its inception, the Bottom Dollar with Rapid Hit Explosive Payload. I know 120s aren't as good as they used to be, but ever since the hand cannon buff, Bottom Dollar is doing just fine regardless. The chances of this perk combination appearing are very slim due to its perk pool, but having a great reload perk with an S tier damage perk with a desirable energy type for Nightfalls is just unbeatable. There are other roles to be interested in, but I want to highlight this one specifically for this video in hopes that Xur Claws answers my pleas. Next up, we have a weapon and roll that the gunsmith sold not too long ago, but I'm gonna mention it anyway. The Truth Teller. I've practically beat this dead horse enough as is, but blinding nades are the most overpowered thing in the game. Blinding nades, auto-loading, and disruption break on the Truth Teller. If you ever see it, pick it up immediately and thank me later. Or Xur, you could just thank Xur. Now lastly, for our energy weapons, we have two guns that have never been more relevant. The Stars and Shadow and Third Axiom. With Unstopped Pulse being a thing this season, keep your eyes on these two pulses for in-game PvE, as they're separate elements and have great perks for GM Nightfalls. For Stars and Shadow, be on the lookout for Surplus combined with Disruption, Kill Clip, or Vorpal, and for the Third Axiom, be looking for either Surplus or Rangefinder combined with One for All or Disruption Break. I love these two pulses to death and actually use Stars and Shadow for a lot of my Proving Ground GM runs back during Chosen, so if you see good rolls for either of these two, make sure to pick them up. Now moving on from energy weapons, let's finally start talking about some kinetic choices to be on the lookout for, starting with the Seraph Carbine and Seraph Revolver respectively. The reason I pair these weapons together is not just because of Warmind cells, but because of their relevance inside the season's endgame. Carbine is going to be a great anti-barrier option this season, and with perk rolls like 4th Times and Vorpal, you 100% don't want to miss out on it if it's available. With the Seraph Revolver, it may be a 180, but hand cannons as a whole got buffed this season, making them feel much better. Be looking for either 4th Times or Ambitious in the first column, alongside Time Payload specifically in the second. That 11 to 12% damage bonus is needed when it comes to making this weapon feel great, so don't miss out. Next up, we have two PvP picks that I wasn't expecting to see in Xur's inventory, the True Prophecy and Krimel's Dagger hand cannons. Now, Krimel's Dagger is actually an Iron Banner hand cannon that's been unavailable for the longest time now, and it's one of the few 120s that can roll with Kill Clip, so a roll like Rangefinder or Outlaw Kill Clip would pair beautifully in PvP, as well as triple tap explosive or timed payload for PvE. For True Prophecy, Overflow with Rampage payload or Demo is great for PvE, and Rangefinder Rampage or Rangefinder payload will find you tons of success in PvP. The True Prophecy has been a super rare gun for ages now, and Krimel's has straight up been unavailable, so don't miss out if Xur sells either of these two. Now for the last weapon of today's video, I'd actually like to bring attention to the talons of the Eagle High Impact Scout Rifle. This weapon was initially an Iron Banner weapon and just like Krimel's, hasn't been obtainable. With the Scout Rifle buff, a roll like Full Auto or Outlaw combined with explosive payload would make this weapon great for future Nightfall content that calls for Scout Rifles. But guys, that's gonna do it for today's video. I hope y'all found today's video useful, and I definitely appreciate y'all for watching all the way to the end of the video. I noticed that Xur's inventory was available on light.gg and figured that I'd make a video just letting everyone know and providing a little bit of insight as to what exactly Xur can sell weekend after weekend, and after taking a look at the list, we've gotten a ton of really good legendary weapons that have appeared in his inventory. So for coming weekends from, starting now until probably all the way to Witch Queen, we're going to be needing to pay attention to Xur, and we'll probably have a few PSA videos on the channel here and there, as Xur might be dropping some bombshell god rolls on weekends, so I'll definitely keep you guys up to date. Overall, it's really cool that Bungie updated Xur's loot pool, and I'm actually really thankful as an in-game player, as I haven't actually gone to Xur in just about a year now. It's been quite a while since I paid attention to him, so I'm really happy that Bungie's done what they've done. This video's gone on for long enough though, so I won't bother any of you with a comment of the day or word of the day stuff, just a message from me to you that I'm so blessed to have the community that I do, and I mean it from the bottom of my heart. Thank you guys so much for the support over the course of me creating Destiny content. Thanks for watching the video, I love you guys, and I'll see you all next time.